Welcome to this video series about creating your ideal life. My name is Sigurd. I make videos about exploring yourself and the world, and this will be episode 1 of I don't know how many, but it will be about creating a multidisciplinary life. First of all, I'm going to have to define that because I like to think that's a term that I've come up with, at least the definition for it. So, a life like that is a way of structuring and designing life so that it's centered around developing and exploring your interests and passions, and just like working towards achieving your goals in many different avenues of life. And it's especially relevant and ideal, I think, for people like me who get bored of just doing one single thing and would like to do like many different things, or are interested in different things and fields, and to whom like the concept of having one job and working that your whole life seems unappealing. So if that sounds like you, then I think this video and the upcoming ones are going to be great for you. The way I'll structure this video here is that I've got like a few questions or prompts for you to fill out, so you can just write that down on a sheet of paper. Just get a sheet of paper and a pen and get that ready. If you want to get a bit more fancy, I've got a PDF link in the description that you can take and print out to write yourself, but just a sheet of paper and a pen works just fine as well. The thing I want to get into in the first episode is like really to lay the foundation for how you want that life to look. So that's basically, what will the structure of your life be? What will you do in your day-to-day life? How will you live, and does traveling play a part in there? What are the goals that you want to reach? Things like that are things that I want to explore and help you explore with these prompts and the questions that I've got for you. I think this is very exciting, by the way, because these questions here are sometimes questions that you're not really asking yourself all too often, and I think like reflecting on them can give some really interesting answers about who you are and who you want to be. So I think you will enjoy this. At least I enjoy thinking about these questions and the answer to them. So the first question is then, based on your current standard of living, based on money that you currently have available. So if you're working, that's your wage. If you're studying, that's the money you have available, whether that's from a part-time job or other sources as well. And if you're slightly younger and you live with your parents, then you can just think of an average wage coming in. If you had that, and that kept coming in as if by magic, but you still didn't have to keep your job, or you didn't do what you're doing right now, what would you be doing instead day to day? Inevitably, you will have freed up quite a bit of time then, based on this mental experiment. So you will have to fill that up with things that you find interesting and fulfilling, I guess. So try to write down a couple of things. What would your day-to-day life look like? What would you be doing in that situation? Alright? And then pause the video and get back to the next question. So the next two questions are related to the first one, but they offer you a way to like expand your opportunities and what you will be doing. So imagine now that the money coming in, instead of it being exactly what you have available now, imagine if it was $10,000 per month. I'm assuming that's less than what most of you make if you're watching this video, and I'm guessing based on like my audience who will watch this. So yeah, imagine that's what you got instead. Just write down, what will you then be doing? And for the third question, if it was $100,000 per month, what would you then be doing? And I'm guessing by now you will have like a mixture of things written down there. A couple of things that you would have anyway, and things that you're interested in and would do no matter what sort of money you're making. And also maybe a couple of things that you wouldn't be able to afford doing with your current state of money that you would with these higher and higher sums of money. And that's alright, that's natural. Try to write some of both. Now let's return from the money amount for a bit and just think about your current situation. Let's say you had no judgment from society, and you had also no risk. So imagine like if things went wrong and it didn't work out, you can just reverse time and get back to where you are right now. What would you then be doing in your situation now and going forward? I'm imagining that that can be a bit different based on these two assumptions that I've got here. A bit different from what you're doing day to day right now. If it's the same, then great, you're doing well. But if not, then write down what would you do different in a day-to-day life based on those assumptions. Cool, so we're starting to fill out the sheet now, adding more things, and you're getting sort of an image of what you would want to be doing in your day-to-day life in different situations. That's great, so let's get into a different bit now. But it's still sort of related to it anyway. It's about interests. So what are your interests that you currently have, and what are some interests or hobbies that you would be interested in trying out or pursuing? And here I'm just going to give a few examples on my own. I currently play the piano, which is an interest of mine. I also like hiking, so that would be something I currently do and want to do. And also I want to try to get into tennis at some point. I think that would be cool. And also snorkeling, which I've tried a bit and I actually find a bit scary, to be honest, but like overcoming that fear would be awesome. And I really enjoy it at times when I do it. So improving on that field and trying it out and just expanding it as an interest is something that I would like to do. So that would be my response, or part of my response on that question, and what is it like for you? Then the next one will be talking about goals. So what are like some major goals that you want to accomplish throughout your life, like a bucket list sort of thing? What are some things that you want to do? And that can be things that like happen once, like I want to see the Great Wall of China. That's like a bucket list thing. Or it can also be like a goal or something that you want to do longer term, like maybe I want to help build a school in a poor community. That's like something that would take a bit more time, and it's not just like a one-off event thing. Or it can be something that's a bit more, even more longer term. Maybe that's something like, I want to help many different people with their workouts and I want to improve that. So write down that, what are like some goals that you want to accomplish throughout your life, things that you want to be doing. And by now we're sort of approaching the end here. So I'm hoping that you've paused the video at the different questions and taken the time to write stuff down. Actually take a few minutes on each question and just have a think about it and write down the best answers you can think of. And then, based on what you've written so far, you're starting to get like a picture of what your life would look like ideally. So, based on your previous answers and like the picture of your ideal life, what would your life and the structure of it look like? So where would you want to live? How would you want to live? Like say by yourself, with friends or a partner? And would it be like an apartment, city, in the countryside, which country, things like that, where you want to be living? And also what you want to be doing day to day. You've already written about that in different questions, so you don't necessarily have to write down a lot, but just a few keywords, maybe things that you can pick from the different answers you already have. And then what sort of equipment or things do you need to do to get this done? So now you completed the worksheet, congratulations. And looking at the sheet, you'll see that quite a few of these things look difficult maybe, and to be honest, many of them can be and probably are, but they're also achievable, many of them. But now you have an overview and just a structured overview of what you want to be doing. So now what we can do in the next video is to look at what are the steps we can take to try to make this closer to reality. And if that doesn't sound cool to you, I don't know, you've probably written down something wrong on the sheet, because that sounds really cool to me. I think you're looking forward to it, and hoping I'll see you in the next one where we go through all of this. So keep the worksheet or the sheet of paper, whatever you wrote on, and then we'll use that in the next video to get through like how can we take the first few steps to make this closer to reality. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and I hope you're looking forward to taking the first few steps towards creating your ideal life.